Alright, quick update on Bitcoin. So in my opinion, in the next couple of weeks, something like this is going to happen. So what we've got over here is the BTC USD chart, and you can see on the weekly time frame, we've got previous resistance, resistance over here, pop your head above it, and we finally come back and back tested it as support. But what this chart actually is the invert on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. So this is what we got. This is the main chart that I want to look at today. It looks something like this. We've obviously added the falling wedge on this one. This is typically bullish, but what you can see is we've been bouncing around in this for the past year or so, broken to the downside of it, and we're now coming back up and back testing this line. If we come over to the daily time frame, where are we here? Red line. I came into contact with it today, 25,300. So in our previous episode, we were talking about 25,500 and then the next leg down. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the immediate short term you can still move up a little bit. But on the weekly, daily time frame, you can see been moving up since 17,500. But with these zones, let's see, where is the previous support? There's previous support around here, 25,900 to 26,500. There's a lot of touch points all the way down at the bottom here. So like I said, in the immediate short term, it can still move up a tiny bit more. We can still come down for one more leg and bounce back up. On the daily, this could look something like this if you're more bullish than me in the short term, because obviously we said 25,500 down. We went up to 25.3, 25.2 today, so that's good enough for me. If you're bullish in the immediate short term, something like this can still make sense. 26,700, 26,800, even moving up to the top of this previous resistance range, 29,500 could still potentially be in play. But weekly time frame, for me, this is what makes the most sense, coming into these ranges, coming down, probably back testing 20,000 before one more move down to where I actually think the bottom is 16,000 to 14,000. If we check out the fibs, going back to basics, looking at the previous retracements we've had from the dumps, high to low, first retrace only came up to the 38.2. If we're pulling this down to the macro leg to the downside, you can actually see we didn't quite make it to the 0.5 Fibonacci. Basically, this golden pocket range, a bit more than the golden pocket. We've got the 0.5618 down here, 786 Fibonacci. These are the orange ranges over on this Fibonacci box here, and you can see with every retracement, with every high to low drawing on these Fibonacci's, we literally never return to this orange box, or at least the orange box is always resistance. The next high to low, you can see we didn't make it up to the 382. And then if we look at this most recent high to low, you can see, you know, today, yesterday, past couple of days really, the 0.5, the start of these really important fibs are where we're currently getting stuck at. So we've already, from the most recent move, at least from 32,400 down to 17,600, we've retraced just over 50% of the move. And now on the daily, it looks like the Heiken Archies, they look like they're getting weak in my opinion. You know, you can always see these really thin dojis a lot of the times just before you're about to start a new downtrend. So like I said, I mean, even if you're bullish in the immediate short term and you think higher prices, I would definitely say another small pullback to the downside. For me, something like this is in play. So whether we come up to this orange box or not, I still think coming down here, 16,000, 14,000 is the most likely play. If we head over to the DXY as well, this is something I posted on Twitter and we talked about on YouTube. So this is a chart that we've pulled up before, and we talked about over here how you can see it's almost the inverse of what's going over on Bitcoin. You've got resistance over here, resistance, this was resistance, and then you finally popped your head back above it. We back tested it a few times, and now it looks like we're pulling up. If we take a couple of trend lines, in my opinion, this looks like a bull flag, and it looks like we're breaking out to the top of it. So if I line this up, take out the price target, I'll be conservative with the price target as well. I won't draw it from this low or this low. I'm literally drawing from the lowest point when the trend really started to kick up after we obviously booted through the previous resistance. And if we take this out, the most conservative target would be 110 from the breakout. Once again, people draw these different ways. But up here, 111, we've talked about this target before. This is a target we've talked about many times for the DXY. There is a 1.618 Fibonacci around here. I won't talk about this again because I have talked about it before. But yeah, just a couple of charts, just a quick update on what I think is going to be playing out in the next couple of weeks. And just a quick news update before we do wrap up this video. Big short investor Michael Burry sold all but one of his stocks in the last quarter. So I'm sure all of you know who Michael Burry is. Any investor that's been in this space for a while should know the Big Short by now. But Burry's asset management company Sion owned 165 million of stocks at the end of March, excluding its Apple put options, and now they only hold a 3.3 million stake in Geo Group. So yeah, it's a bad omen when the guy who basically conquered the housing bubble of the 2000s is selling off his entire portfolio. So I won't jump into it more than that, not really much to explain on that. But yeah, that's all I've got. Like I said, something like this is what I see playing out for Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks. That's all I've got for you today, my friends, and as always, cowboy out. Peace.